Hi everybody, welcome back to Make It with Mod Podge. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're new here, we're doing all sorts of fun Mod Podge crafts. And if you're returning, thank you for returning. I'm Cathie and today I'm going to show you a couple of really fun fall projects using Satin Mod Podge and using fabric Mod Podge. Now these are all really fun and easy beginner projects. Oh, I should also tell you, I'm also going to show you how you can dye doilies using water and the FolkArt Multi Surface Paint. This is a really fun and easy technique. So doilies and all that is still so trendy and so popular, so I thought let's do something fun with those today. So what I want to show you is the Patchwork Pumpkin. We're doing a Patchwork Pumpkin, then we're doing a all over Patchwork Pumpkin design. I'm doing a doily pumpkin. I'm going to show you how to dye the doilies, and I'm going to show you how you can apply them to denim using the fabric Mod Podge formula. So let's just dive right in. I want to start with our Patchwork Pumpkin. You see that I have done almost all the work, but I left one little section there open so I can show you how we do this type of design. So I've got 100% cotton fabrics, and one of the things that's kind of important when you're doing a patchwork is that you have some darker shades and some lighter shades, and that gives you that sort of, you know, highs and lows going around, so you get those nice contrasts. So I've got one last piece to apply, and you can see it's shaped like an elongated football, basically. So what you want to do with your pumpkin, you could do this on big ones, little ones, it doesn't matter. You're just going to cut your strips into these long, skinny football shapes. There's really no right or wrong way. You can even look at this one here. It's not even perfectly cut. It's just free-handed, and that's what gives it that cool patchwork look. If you wanted to be precise with every single one, you could measure around your pumpkin, and if you wanted to do 12 colors, just divide the measurement by 12 and then you would know the equal parts. But for me, I just freehand cut these and it was super simple. So I'm going to use the Mod Podge Satin on this project, and I'm going to use the satin to glue down my fabric and to seal my fabric. So I'm just using a 1-inch paintbrush, and I'm going to go ahead and apply my satin right onto the pumpkin. And you can see that I'm applying some of the satin Mod Podge on the two sides, because each time you are overlapping your fabric piece that you're putting down. And the way I like to put them down even on the pumpkin is that light color, dark color, light color, dark color. So go ahead and add that down. Get it all on there. I'm using a pretty good amount. The fabric tends to absorb it, so you might want to use a little bit more than you would normally do with paper. And by the way, this technique doesn't work very well with scrapbook paper, but it works really well if you're using tissue paper. So here's my fabric strip. I'm gonna go ahead and just start it at the top there. And go ahead and place that down. Make sure I'm covering each little edge there. Looks pretty good. Then I like to go in with my paintbrush, and let's put some Mod Podge right down the center of that fabric. So I like to start in the center, just like so, and then I work out the edges. I have laid this down properly. We should seal up all those sides without having any of that faux pumpkin. Now I should say that I'm doing this on a fake pumpkin. This is one of those foam pumpkins. You could do this on a real pumpkin, but that would be a lot of work, for a real pumpkin would eventually rot. So I would do this on a foam pumpkin. This is a great dollar store makeover. If you find a pumpkin there that's just not your style at all, you can really change it up with just by adding this fabric. Now once I have the Mod Podge down, I go in with my finger and smooth out any of those edges. I've got a little wrinkle here, so I can just pick it up, and you can just keep kind of smoothing those down. It does get a little messy using your hands here, but that is really the best way to get that smooth edge sealed down. Just if you get any kind of a piece that's wanting to hump up like that, just keep smoothing with your fingers, and just like so. So that is our last piece down on there. And you can see all of those different pieces and see how it overlaps. And you do get a little crease here and there because you are working around a curved surface, but how quick and easy is that to do? So fun. You can buy fat quarters at the fabric store, all sorts of things. If you're gonna do this, you really, and you're gonna buy fabric by the yard, you don't need very much. So you can probably get away with just buying 1/8 of a yard. So you can really have fun and mix and match some of those prints. Now on this pumpkin here, I've left a little section open. So I want to show you how you can do squares. So you can see this is a patchwork also, but on this one, I'm using all of the same color. And if you're doing this technique, it works best if you're using prints that have an all over pattern. Like a small print like this really looks great because it just covers up so nicely. So for something like this, it's very simple. You're gonna go ahead and add your Mod Podge directly onto the pumpkin. And don't worry about overlapping any of those. You can pick your fabric up with your brush, hold it in place, and then just keep layering them up. And these squares that I cut, I like to just kind of smooth it with my finger. Again, you're just overlapping. These squares that I cut, you can see they're all different sizes. There's no right or wrong size. You could do them all the exact same size if you want, or you can mix and match like I'm doing. And you just keep layering them over each other. So I've got 2 there, and then I just want to join those up. So let's go crossways, and you'll just keep adding your pieces. And I like to go all the way around the bottom edge. That way when your pumpkin is sitting on the table, if you're looking at it from far away, the prints go all the way under it. If you are worried about any of the Mod Podge being sticky or anything like that with your dry time, you can just add like a felt circle or something like that to the bottom. So that's 2 quick, easy ways for pumpkin makeover, doing some patchwork stuff. So let me move those out of the way. And I want to show you about these fun doilies. So I've been working on this one all morning. I did all my dyeing last night. So this one's still a little bit wet, but you do have a really long work time with this. So these ones, I've got them all attached, and I want to attach overlap, kind of a green one here. And I want to show you how we're going to dye our doilies. So I got these doilies. You can pick them up at yard sales. You can make them yourself. You can buy them on Amazon. You can get them at the craft store. They're just all over the place, and they're so popular. So here is my plain cream doily. It's 100% cotton, and I wanted to create all these different fun colors. You can see I've got sort of a baby blue, something like a tea stain, a yellow, a coral. I really wanted some fun, sort of soft colors for fall. So I just want to show you, this is the FolkArt Multi Surface Paint, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of that paint to a pie pan. You can use any kind of, it does not need to be aluminum. You can use glass, plastic, whatever you have. And you just want to add a little bit of water to it. Now it's important that you're using the multi-surface paint because this paint is already formulated for fabric. So it works on fabrics, glass, wood. There we go. We're just going to mix that up and just sort of create a really watered down paint this way. Get all those chunks. It's kind of like a fabric dye, I guess, but it really is paint. So go ahead, got that all mixed up. And now it's just really as easy as dropping your doily right on in. So you're gonna go ahead and drop that in. And I like to use a fork just to sort of press it down like that. One thing to note is that they do dry once they're rinsed out, a lighter color. So it's not gonna be dark like this. This orange right here turns out this lighter coral color. So if you want those deeper colors, you need to go with a darker color to begin with. So if you wanted something that was orange like this, you would really need to go with the darkest orange possible. So then I just like give it a flip it over, and make sure you get both sides. So for this project, that was probably about a teaspoon of paint. You want to you can sort of wiggle that down in there just to get each of the edges there, just like so. Now at this point, I would let this sit for, I don't know, like 20 minutes or so. And then you can rinse it out. And once it's rinsed out, I just air dry it. I put it on some paper towels and let it air dry. And then you have these really cool colored doilies. So for this, I attach them to the pumpkin using the fabric Mod Podge. I'm going to get this out of my way real quick before I create a huge mess. That would not be good. So I want to show you for this one, we can go ahead and layer up another one of the doilies onto the pumpkin. So we can place it here if we wanted to, or we could layer it over these. I don't know, we got a nice big empty spot. Maybe we should just put it right there. So for this, it's the same thing, except for I'm going to use the fabric Mod Podge on this one. The reason why I'm using fabric Mod Podge is it's a little bit stronger, and this is much heavier weight than that cotton. So if you're just doing the pumpkins and some lightweight cotton, feel free to use the satin. But if you're working with the heavier fabrics, the fabric Mod Podge works better. So you're gonna go ahead and just add your fabric Mod Podge right on down to the doily. And you can see it's a lot thicker. Regular Mod Podge would be dripping off my brush at this point, but this is a lot thicker. You wanna make sure you get those edges. And the fabric Mod Podge is gonna dry perfectly clear, so don't worry if you see that it looks all thick and milky right now, because it will dry totally clear. Fabric Mod Podge is also machine washable. So if you see up here, I've got a doily on a t-shirt, just a really fun, quick, easy fall fashion with a little bit of cottagecore style going on. And so you can put it on t-shirts or jeans. I'm gonna show you quickly how you can put it on a jean jacket. Go ahead and get the last little bit there. Okay. And this is so thick, it actually works really good on these curved surfaces because the fabric Mod Podge is so strong. Go ahead and just position that down. And you can see where it's white popping through. Don't worry about that. It's all gonna dry clear and you won't even see it. So just press down, and it's strong enough that it can dry. You don't have to worry about drying it on its side. Just go ahead and position it on where you want it. And there you go. You can see I've done all different colors around, and I think I might even add a few more little tiny ones to this design. But that is a really fun way to do sort of a fun country chic pumpkin. Just trying to come up with some fun things for this fall that aren't exactly the most traditional things, because I like a little bit different. So let's go ahead and show you our last thing that I want to show you today, and that is how you do the doily onto denim like this. Now it's the same way we did it to the pumpkin. We're using the fabric Mod Podge, and this jacket will be machine washable, and this will stay on. You do not need to sew it down. So this is a no sew technique. And for this jean jacket, let me move my mannequin model. I'm just applying it. You could apply them all over. You could apply them anywhere you want, but I really like the idea of just having them right up here on that shoulder. I think that looks so cute. So let's go ahead. I've got this one right here. And if you wanted to do colored ones like this, you would just want to heat set your paint. For these, I didn't heat set it because I'm not gonna be washing it. But if you wanted to heat set it, you just take a dry iron to it and iron it on each side for about 3 to 4 minutes, picking it up, you know, in between, turn it over and then do it again. So no steam, hot iron, and that will heat set all of your paint. So for this one, we're gonna go ahead and use that same fabric Mod Podge and apply it to the back of the doily. And again, really make sure you get those edges. This doesn't get any easier than this. Let's get that edge. There we go. So fun. I hope everybody is having a great beginning of fall. I am out in Southern California. You can drop me a note and let me know where you're watching from. We had our first kind of chilly, foggy day today. It was really nice. And it's great because it's actually school picture day at my kids' school. So they're not gonna be out in the heat for their school pictures. There we go. Got all that down. All right, I've got my collar up here. So this is the hardest part of this project, is just landing this in the right spot. So I'm gonna use my seam here as my guide. We'll go ahead and lay that into position and press down. And don't worry about where the white's coming through. That's all gonna dry clear. Like you can see on this side, it had all that white coming through. Let's go ahead and spin her. And you can see how it's just drying beautifully. Okay, go ahead and press that down. Collar down. There we go. Look how cute and how fast you can create some fall fashion, which is a little bit of this fabric Mod Podge. So let's review quickly, you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today. We did our really fun, easy patchwork pumpkin. So if you missed the first part of this video, you can always just watch us on replay. I also showed you the really simple technique of doing the square cutouts. We talked about how we can dye our doilies using our FolkArt Multi Surface Paint. So easy. You can create any color under the rainbow, and you can use them on your fashions like this t-shirt here, or on your jean jackets, or I think this is gonna be going on my dining table, this really cute pumpkin. So I hope that these projects have inspired you to create something fun for your fall decor or your fall fashions. We'll be back here next week with another Make It with Mod Podge. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.